In this tribute video, we honor 11 American legends who have passed away today and in recent days. Welcome back to Movie Newscast. These remarkable individuals made lasting contributions to their fields, and we sadly say goodbye to them. Our heartfelt condolences go out to their families and fans. As we remember their legacies, we invite you to show your support by giving this video a thumbs up if their lives or work have touched you in any way. Your gesture is a sign of respect and remembrance. James Darren, Gidget teen idol actor who rose to fame in the 1950s, has died at 88, according to Nancy Sinatra, who counted him among her closest friends. One of my dearest, closest friends in all the world, of all my life has passed away, she wrote on Instagram. Godfather to my daughter, AJ. Wishing him a fast and beautiful journey through the universe and beyond. Godspeed, sweet Jimmy. My heart is torn but full of love for Avi, Christian, Anthony, and Jimmy Jr., alongside two images, one featuring her daughter's baptism and the second of her and Darren side by side. Per outlet reports, his son, Inside Edition correspondent Jim Moret, said that his father died at the Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles after entering the hospital's cardiac unit. He was deemed too weak to have a surgical aorta valve replacement and died in his sleep. Born June 8, 1936 in Philadelphia, Darren was a student of famed acting coach Stella Adler, for whom he commuted to New York regularly. He starred as surfer Moondoggie, landing the part despite being unable to surf and being a weak swimmer, in all three Columbia Pictures romantic comedy Gidget films, from the 1959 original through subsequent sequels Gidget Goes Hawaiian, 1961, and Gidget Goes to Rome, 1963. In addition to acting, he made a name for himself in the mid-1960s as a singer, after proving his vocal chops by performing the Gidget theme song, with hits like Goodbye Cruel World and Her Royal Majesty. He continued in Hollywood in the TV realm, with popular series like the 1966 sci-fi show The Time Tunnel and 80s police drama T.J. Hooker, alongside William Shatner. After working in television for decades, he moved into TV directing, working on shows like Melrose Place and Beverly Hills, 90,210 in the 90s and aughts. He is survived by his wife Evie, sons Moret, Christian Darren, and Anthony Darren, and 5 grandchildren. Eric Gilliland, former comedy writer for Roseanne and My Boys, has died. Eric Gilliland, a longtime comedy writer best known for his work on Roseanne, died September 1. The cause was cancer. Gilliland, an Illinois native and 1984 graduate of Northwestern University, wrote for the ABC comedy from 1992 to 1996. He went on to consult on The Conners in 2019. His first big writing gig in TV was on Who's the Boss? He went on to write for Living Dolls, The Wonder Years, Boogie Hauser, MD, That 70s Show, and My Boys. His most recent project was the podcast The Cinnamon Bear, a holiday adventure. Gilliland received a Vivier Award nomination in 1994 for Roseanne. In 2019, he received a Daytime Emmy nomination for writing the children's show, The Was Show. Away from TV, Gilliland was quite the whistler. His tooting was featured on Sam Winch's The Lullabideer and on the soundtrack for an episode of Penn and Teller, Bullshit. Tributes to Gilliland continue to pour in on Facebook, like this one from Modern Family co-creator Steve Levitan. Weird, I know, but I found myself thinking this morning that Eric Gilliland would have taken some perverse pleasure in knowing that of all people, he was outlived by Dick Van Dyke. That's one of the ways Eric and I bonded back in 8th grade over our mutual love for the Dick Van Dyke Show, and Monty Python, Jack Benny, The Carol Burnett Show, SNL, and Bad Puns. Yes, people, we started a pun club. Eric was just plain smart and funny. In high school, we did plays and musicals and comedy assemblies, parts of which we even co-wrote. he somehow pulled off the impossible of being biting and sweet at the same time. While doing a comedy show called Little Bucky for our local Glenview radio station with our friends Thalia Kaladimos and Betsy Brennan, I was so bad at doing accents that Eric nicknamed me the man with 1,000 voices. Crazy P singer Danielle Moore, dead at 52. She has died under tragic and sudden circumstances, her bandmates announced. Crazy P frontwoman Danielle Moore has died suddenly aged 52. The lead singer of the British electronic group died on August 30 under sudden and tragic circumstances, her bandmates announced Monday, local time. We cannot believe the news ourselves, and we know it will be the same for all of you. A post shared on Crazy P's official Instagram account read. The caption continued, "She gave us so much, and we love her so much. Our hearts are broken. We need time to process that this has happened." Danielle lived a life driven by love, compassion, community, and music. She lived the biggest of lives. We will miss her with all our hearts. Moore's cause of death is currently unknown. The star joined Crazy P in 2002, 7 years after it was originally formed, with the group going on to release 7 studio albums. The outfit's latest album was in 2019 with the release of Age of the Ego. Crazy P were touring fairly recently, supporting Irish singer Roisin Murphy on her UK tour. Murphy, 51, led tributes to Moore on social media shortly after news of her death emerged. A man who appeared on the controversial Australian documentary series Struggle Street died recently at the age of 56. Bob Quinn, who shocked viewers along with his much younger pregnant bong-smoking girlfriend, Billie Jo Wilkie, died in late June. Quinn was one of several residents of public housing areas in Western Sydney who agreed to be part of the first season of Struggle Street, filmed back in 2014. The show eventually ran for 3 seasons on SBS, moving to other underprivileged locations for its second and third seasons as it aired from 2015 to 2019. The first season of Struggle Street examined the setbacks and aspirations of the residents as they carved out lives in the public housing estates of Mount Druitt, an area rife with crime, unemployment, and drug use. Season 1 was an instant controversy magnet. Blacktown Mayor Stephen Bally labeled the show poverty porn, but it was a big hit with audiences, averaging around 1.1 million viewers across the 5 capital cities. Some of the participants' open drug use on camera shocked viewers and generated much media coverage. Quinn appeared alongside heavily pregnant girlfriend Billie Jo Wilkie, who made world news smoking a bong while sitting on the toilet. The pair split after the season aired. Quinn's son Cameron announced his father's death in a public Facebook post on July 19. Robert Weatherwax, a second-generation Hollywood animal trainer and the son of Lassie co-creator Rudd Weatherwax, has died. He was 83. The late trainer's son Robert Jr., who has also continued in the family business, announced his father's death on Friday with a throwback photo of the two of them and one of the rough collie descendants of the original Lassie dog actor Pal. "It is with great sorrow that I announce the passing of my legendary dog training father," wrote Robert Jr. in the post. "He was born exactly 1 year after my grandfather's Minjiam Lassie, Pal. I'm proud to be the last representative of the greatest dog training family in history." Rudd created Lassie for CBS in 1954 with producer Robert Maxwell. Robert Weatherwax Sr. joined his father on the show in the early 60s, continuing to carry on the Lassie legacy after Rudd died at 77 in 1985. The family voted to sell the character's trademark in 2002. "Due to my father's genius, we transformed the training of dogs from simple props on a movie set into actors who seemed to behave with human-like emotions," Robert previously said in his bio. "Dad was a transitional figure in Hollywood animal training, and my experiences with him from childhood to adulthood have transformed my life and made me who I am today. I hope that my father's lifelong labor of love of which I am proud to have shared by his side, will be uplifting in a world that, more than ever, needs some inspiration from the past, he added. In addition to his work on Lassie, Robert trained the dog Einstein from the Back to the Future films, as well as animals on Big Jake, 1971, The Thing, 1982, and Dennis the Menace, 1993. The Weatherwax family has been in Hollywood since Rudd's father, Walter Weatherwax, moved the family to Hollywood and got into the business. Robert's uncle Jack trained Toto in The Wizard of Oz, and his uncle Frank trained Spike, the dog who starred in Old Yeller, 1957. Teresa Bright, award-winning Hawaii recording artist, dies at 64. Award-winning Hawaii recording artist Teresa Bright passed away Sunday at the age of 64. Bright grew up on the windward side of Oahu and attended the University of Hawaii. She won her first Nahoku Hanohano Award with Steve Mai for the song Yui, Amy, and Slide in 1988. Bright's self-portrait album in 1990 was her first as a solo artist, which won her 6 Nahoku Hanohano Awards, 5 for Bright and 1 for Kata Majuli as a producer. The Hawaii star was also named Female Vocalist of the Year at the 1991 Nahoku Hanohano Awards. Bright was also popular in Japan, working with Japanese businesses like Toyota, Sapporo Beer, Max Factor, NT Japan, and Japan Airlines. Her 2007 release Hawaii Noa featured popular Okinawan songs with lyrics translated into Alelo Hawaii. She was honored as a recipient of the Hawaii Academy of Recording Arts Lifetime Achievement Award in 2020. Details on her services are pending. Jody Frisch, an accomplished communications executive with a career spanning decades in both Hollywood and Washington, D.C., died August 21 after a short battle with pancreatic cancer. She was 68. Throughout her career, Frisch held key positions at organizations such as the JDGA, SAG-AFTRA, the American Humane Association, BGR Group, and the National Foreign Trade Council. A native of Los Angeles who grew up in the San Fernando Valley and attended Birmingham High School, Frisch immediately embarked on a publicity career. Her work spanned a range of industries, and she was known for her expertise in executing numerous media campaigns, crisis and reputation management initiatives, and public policy advocacy efforts. Early on, Frisch worked for producer Cameron McIntosh in publicizing The Phantom of the Opera and Miss Saigon. She also had stints at Planned Parenthood and Craig Anderson Prods, and served as the personal publicist for actress Meredith Baxter in the 1990s. Away from work, Frisch was an animal lover and advocate for women's rights. A memorial service celebrating Frisch's life and accomplishments will be held in the coming months. While she had no immediate family, Frisch cultivated a wide circle of longtime friends who provided support and comfort during her final days. Pat Lewis, an influential American soul singer and backing vocalist, passed away on September 2, 2024, at the age of 76. Her rich career spanned several decades, during which she contributed significantly to the sound of classic soul music. Born on October 23, 1947, in Detroit, Michigan, Pat Lewis began her career in the 1960s as a member of the group The Adorables. The group was signed to Golden World Records, where they released several singles that captured the attention of the local music scene. However, it was her work as a backing vocalist that truly established her reputation in the industry. Lewis became a sought-after session singer in Detroit's legendary music scene, contributing her powerful voice to numerous recordings for Motown artists. She worked with renowned artists like Aretha Franklin, Isaac Hayes, and Parliament Funkadelic, among others. Her voice became an integral part of the sound that defined soul and funk music during that era. In addition to her work as a backing vocalist, Pat Lewis also enjoyed a solo career. Although her solo work did not achieve the same commercial success as her session work, it was highly regarded by soul music enthusiasts. Her solo recordings, including tracks like No One to Love and Can't Shake It Loose, showcased her powerful voice and deep emotional resonance. Ahu Tugba, born Tugba Setin on August 13, 1955, in Istanbul, Turkey, was a prominent Turkish actress who passed away on September 1, 2024, in Miami, Florida, at the age of 69. She was known for her roles in Turkish cinema during the 1980s, often portraying complex characters like prostitutes or drug addicts, with a reputation as a sex symbol of the time. Tugba came from a wealthy family and attended prestigious schools such as Istanbul American Girls High School and Robert College before studying English at Concordia University in Canada. Her entry into the film industry began when she was discovered by director Metin Erksin while walking in Beyoğlu. Ahu Tugba's legacy in Turkish cinema remains significant, as she was a key figure in shaping the cultural landscape of 1980s Turkey through her bold and often controversial roles. Mitzi McCall, whose 5-decade resume in entertainment included 11 films, 14 TV shows, and many animated series voiceovers, died August 8 at Providence St. Joseph Medical Center in Burbank at age 93. No details on cause were immediately available. Her husband and comedy partner, Charlie Brill, confirmed her death in a Facebook post. "I lost my Mitzi last night. Rest in peace, my one and only love. Rest in peace and laughter." McCall and Brill appeared on The Ed Sullivan Show on February 9, 1964, better known as the U.S. television debut of the Beatles. The pair's act can be seen on the DVD of the Beatles' appearance on the show. They were interviewed in 2005 for Public Radio International's Big Break episode of This American Life regarding their Beatles-Sullivan experience, including a dressing room encounter with John Lennon. McCall started her entertainment career on the Kitty Castle program on KDKA-TV in Pittsburgh. Moving to Hollywood, she appeared on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, and was also a series regular on such series as Life Goes On, and with her husband on Silk Stockings. She provided the voice of Auntie Marina in the animated series Snorks, the voice of Mother Goose in Mother Goose and Grimm, the voice of Sylvia Jenkins in Free for All, and a variety of voices on the Paw Paws. McCall made guest appearances on the TV shows Seinfeld, The Twilight Zone, Maude, Dharma, and Greg and Chuck, as well as voiceover work for many cartoons. In 1971, she was the voice of Penny on the Flintstones spin-off, The Pebbles and Bam Bam Show. McCall and Brill had a comedy recording, From Our Point of View, released in 1967 by ABC Records. She is survived by Brill, her husband of 64 years, their daughter Jenny, nieces Tony Howard and Wendy Goldberg, and godchildren Melissa and Sarah Gilbert, among many family and friends. Hollywood icon Richard Gere made an electric appearance at the Venice Film Festival in Italy on September 1. Not only was the Pretty Woman star accompanied by his beautiful wife, but his handsome lookalike son joined him as well. While the trio certainly made a striking appearance, some netizens were unimpressed with the husband and wife. Standing at the center of the Amphiar Gala Venezia carpet, Richard and Alejandra Silva commanded attention. Dressed appropriately for the esteemed event, Richard sported a classic black tuxedo with a bow tie, a white dress shirt, and formal shoes. Matching her husband's elegance, Alejandra, who accessorized with gorgeous diamond earrings and rings, donned a see-through dark blue gown. The garment, called the Mab dress and designed by Sylvia Cherasi, features a high neckline and a billowing skirt, and has a low cut, leaving the back exposed. Its fitted silhouette boasts beautiful lace floral appliques, which are placed over the black transparent material that makes it see-through. Currently, it's purchasable on Sylvia Cherasi's online store for $4,206.60, €3,800. Video footage of Alejandra in her stunning Sylvia Terrassi dress and Richard in his classy tuxedo showed the duo posing for the cameras. Every once in a while, Richard, who placed his hand on his wife's hip, and Alejandra would look at each other, sharing affectionate glances. Another video, posted on Instagram by the official account of Paris Match, showed footage of Richard's son, Homer Gier, whom the actor shares with his ex-wife Carrie Lowell. In their video, Homer, who towered over his stepmom, was seen posing with Alejandra in a similar tuxedo to his dad's. The video then cuts to show Homer sharing a tender father-son moment with his dad, who lovingly placed his arm around his son's shoulders as they laughed at something. When social media users saw the videos and pictures of the family at the prestigious event, they wasted no time in asserting their judgments and opinions. Focusing their attention solely on Richard and Alejandra as a couple, many felt there was something amiss, especially in Alejandra's case. "She looks extremely uncomfortable," noted someone on TikTok. Another added, "terrible body language," while someone else chastised, "shame on him," referring to Richard. On the other hand, however, many thought Alejandra looked beautiful in her pretty gown. "That dress, she is stunning in it," gushed a fan. Another admirer swooned, "He and her dress." Amid comments made about Alejandra Silva and Richard came a flurry of praise for Homer. "His son is gorgeous," marveled a fan on Instagram. Some people also made comparisons between Homer and Richard, expressing how much the two look alike. "His son looks a lot like him. Lucky guy," stated an observer. Someone else wondered, "Is that his son or grandson? He looks like him." Before their glamorous attendance at the film event, Richard and Homer were spotted arriving at the 81st Venice Film Festival via a small boat. A video shared on TikTok showed the runaway bride talent making his way out of a covered section on the boat to smile and wave enthusiastically at admirers who cheered him on. After initial greetings to the public, Richard moved out of the way for Homer to make his way out of the boat. As Homer stepped off the boat, Richard continued to wave and smile at the audience before turning to exit. The video then transitioned to show another moment where Richard was seen by a boat canal. This time, he added a black blazer to his look, which featured a blue undershirt, black pants, and dark shades. The actor took some time to pose for pictures at the hollering press and paparazzi. He added a playful salute stance in the middle of his poses before bidding the crowd farewell and making his way somewhere else. Another video showing Richard and Homer on their boat was posted on TikTok as well. This one displayed the father and son engaging in a conversation while seated at the back. At some point during the Venezia Festival, Richard was seen speaking about his career on stage. The Hollywood Reporter senior staff writer, Chris Gardner, shared a video of this moment on X. According to the footage and Chris' accompanying caption, Richard was watching the 27-year-old version of himself act in his debut film, Days of Heaven, which was made by iconic filmmaker Terrence Malick and released in 1978. After intently watching a scene from the movie, which was followed by applause, Richard shared, "This is so emotional for me to see. This is my first film, and I don't think I've seen this probably in 30-40 years. I think I was 26 or 27 when we made that film, and I'm looking at my son over here." Richard then points to where Homer was seated in the crowd, before telling him to stand up so everyone could see him. After Homer Gier greeted the cheering audience, Richard Gier continued, "I think I was only a little bit older than him, and he's starting his career as an actor now, and he's really good. He's really good." Bob Blaylock, a former American baseball player, passed away on September 1, 2024, at the age of 89 in Collinsville, Oklahoma. Born on June 28, 1935, in Chattanooga, Oklahoma, Blaylock was a right-handed pitcher who played in Major League Baseball, MLB, for the St. Louis Cardinals. His MLB career began when he debuted on July 22, 1956, at the age of 21. Blaylock's professional career spanned a brief period, appearing in only 2 MLB seasons, 1956 and 1959. Over 17 games, he recorded a 1-7 win-loss record with an earned run average ERA of 5.94, and he struck out 42 batters across 50 innings pitched. Although his time in the major leagues was limited, he is remembered for his contributions to the Cardinals during the late 1950s. After his baseball career, Blaylock lived a quieter life away from the public eye. His legacy remains within the history of the Cardinals and the baseball community. Today, we honor the lives and legacies of those who have left us. With gratitude and respect, we remember the profound impact they made and cherish the memories they left behind. May they find eternal peace, and may their contributions continue to guide us. We remember James Darren, Eric Gilliland, Danielle Moore, Bob Quinn, Robert Weatherwax, Teresa Bright, Jody Frisch, Pat Lewis, and Bob Blaylock. May they rest in peace, and may God bring comfort to their families.